Give us the intro.
Season 1, episode 5.
My life ain't your life, and your life ain't my life, but that's life. Your life ain't my life, and my life ain't your life, but that's life. My life ain't your life, and your life ain't my life, but that's life. Your life ain't my life, and my life ain't your life, but that's life. My life ain't your life, and your life ain't my life, but that's life. Your life ain't my life, and my life ain't your life, but that's life.
Cool. All right. Welcome. This is episode 5. I'm Larry.
What's going on? My name is Jeremy Bell.
We got a guest today. This is
The guest.
the guest.
Wow.
See her name on
That's
there.
messed up, man.
It's Brittany.
Hey, y'all.
Brittany Joy.
Brittany Joy.
Yeah, man. She's joining us, our first guest. It feels good. Thank you for joining us.
I feel so honored to be the first guest.
I'm on the head. This is it. This feels stranger than our first episode. It feels like our first episode. Yeah, I'm scared. Yeah.
For what?
Cause we got like JB's been saying you were a very
Prestigious like woman. You
feel me? So look, we wanna match your energy as host of your show.
I got a cut. My barber cut, had my hair off. I just threw on a,
You got on a button down college shirt.
I mean, I did this for you, so
I appreciate that.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Like I said, I signed up for chopping it up with a friend,
Yes.
the fam.
Heck yeah.
Word. Tell the people you want to tell the people how we met.
If you can or not.
Or not.
We're at a dinner party, like a very. I don't know how far in advance you all had the invitation for the dinner party, but I found out the day before.
Maybe.
I think like
Day of.
Yeah, the day of.
This day of.
So it was a very like impromptu but high end dinner party.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Very. I like that.
There was a lot that went into it,
Yeah.
surprisingly.
Yeah, no doubt.
And we've just been cool ever since.
What? Heck yeah. We ran a marathon together. That was good.
5K.
You have to do that again this year.
I need to. I need to.
I run every year.
And you know what? We got a filmmaker friend, Kaila. He been going hard for like 8 months.
Shout out to Caleb Seals. Caleb a year running his ass.
He lost like 50 pounds, but he's so like fit and slim and healthy right now.
Like third, second place in 5Ks.
He's been doing all the 5Ks in the city and been coming to like first
Second
place.
place.
So wait, was he an athlete or anything before, or he just
I don't know if he was.
just like ramped up and just went hard?
Like, I need to get healthy. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's a family thing. Yeah, it's inspired me to be like, yeah, but you can get on your journey. And this is consistency. It ain't I gotta do what he's doing. It's just build some consistency and discipline within your life. And it's just great to see. So yeah, we gotta do 5K.
Still do it.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
I'm ready for that. So what can you tell the people like who is Brittany Joy? Like what do you do? You know what I'm saying?
Try to be a good human every day.
All right. What that consists of? Like how do you incorporate that into your daily activities? What that look like?
That's like such an easy, hard question, right?
Okay.
Like who are you, and distilling it down into, I don't know, some sort of like summary. I guess I should have an elevator pitch. Like, half at work, you have your pitch. But I think in real life, it's just, I work every day to be a better friend, a better daughter, a better partner, a better all the things, and just try to be intentional about showing up at my best. So for me, I think that looks like being healthy. I think that means, being intentional about starting my days right. Because I think that, you had that fucked up start to your day. Everything just kind of goes crazy from there. Yeah. So just try to start my day right and then seeing where it takes me. I tend to be very disciplined with my time. So I own a consulting agency. So I have clients. So if I'm doing something for work, just making sure that I've prepared and I have all my things together. And then in my personal life, just kind of going with the flow.
Okay.
I used to be stressed out, very, very, very stressed out all the time. And I feel like you get to a point where you realize that all of the stress and all of the things that you were fearing, you make it come true by being so stressed out. And so I didn't get a chance to enjoy my life because I was so stressed out about making everything be perfect. So in my personal life now, just showing up the way that, I think that people need me to, and just being the best version of me.
No,
I love that. That's where we at right now. You feel me?
that's pour into self and making sure that your cup is full and
Yeah.
being able to show up. And when you do, it's like you said, 100%. So
Yeah, I read somewhere that they were talking about the overflow. And I think so many times we think about the idea of pouring from our cup into others, but like if you're truly full, you got enough and you're overflowing. And so you're not having to be deficient in filling other people up. Right.
I like Larry, man. He says it all the time, but say what you say, but I don't want to say what he said.
She said it, dog. What comes to my mind, and you saying all the things you saying is like what helped you get to this space? Because you kind of mentioned like I was stressed out, and you know what I mean. I'm more this perfect world for myself, or what I thought it should be. What got you to this place of I got peace now, and I'm doing these things? Like, what was your process to get to that?
So my dad's an immigrant. My dad's from Jamaica.
Okay.
So when he came to this country, he literally came with nothing. So the Jamaican mindset is like that of like 1,000 hustles. It's make a way out of anything, everything, all the things. And so he came to this country determined to make a better life for him and the family that he would eventually have. So I was always raised with the mentality of like, you show up at your best. Like 100% is the expectation. And being the best, period, is the expectation. Not the best girl, not the best Black person. The best person, period, is the expectation. So I never had a chance to take my foot off the gas. Like from the time that things are measured to the time that things are tested, the expectation was to be the absolute best. So you have that level of pressure that you start applying or is applied to you / I applied to myself from an early age, and I continued on it. So from high school, like, making an incredible score in the SATs to getting all of the scholarships for college. And then I competed in pageants. And so now in addition to maybe the physical pressure of being the best athlete and the academic pressure of being, the smartest student, you also have the external pressure of appearing and presenting yourself the best. So that pressure just kind of continued on, but I never saw it as a bad thing, because when it came to interviewing for jobs, or when it came to, finding a way or getting positions that other people couldn't, I was used to rising to the occasion and being the best. So I graduated college with a double major in 3 years. Right. Makes no sense. I was taking 22 hours every single semester. Every semester.
What extracurricular activities?
Yeah, I had a full-time job. I had a full-time job as a radio personality, and then I was taking a double major. So like I didn't sleep.
What was your major?
I had a double major of broadcast journalism and audio.
Oh my God.
Audio. All right.
Yeah.
Dang.
So for me, that was like the standard. If I had spare time, that means I had time to do something else. So I was preparing to compete in pageants, and then working a full-time job, and then taking all of these hours in class. And there was never a chance to drop a ball. Like, it just became a game of like, how do you make it all work? Not what's going to work. It's like, no, it's all going to work. How do you make it work? So got in college, then started working, and again, going 100 miles an hour. I didn't show up. Friends were always like, oh, I know Brittany wants to be here, but she's probably working or she's got something going on. So I got the eternal pass to like not show up to stuff, right? Because people, they're expecting me to be, and nobody holds it against you because everybody understands and they see the hustle. So it's not like you're talking about it. It's like, no, I saw her there, and then there, and then there, and then there. And then I got to a point professionally where I'd hit like a ceiling where being the best is no longer good enough. You start having to play into the political game. You start having to make friends with the right person. You start have to getting in with the right groups, and the right people have to like you. And those were the things that made me kind of slow down. And I hit a pause, professionally, where I was like, I can't give any more. And I'm losing everything as a result. Like, I'm missing these important moments in my friends' lives. I'm not present. Like, everybody's got these inside jokes that I don't know anything about because I wasn't there. And I got the pass because I was working. But now I'm at a point where, like, work isn't paying off. These people don't appreciate this stuff. I can get fired tomorrow and they're going to replace me. But I can't replace all of the time and the effort and the energy that I have missed out on with my friends, the experiences. It's like, I'm disposable in this life and like missing and deficient in this other one. Like that doesn't work.
Yeah.
And so I took a year off. And it's funny because
How old are you at this time too?
Maybe 30, I think 33, I think.
Oh wow, okay.
32, 33.
Were you like shut like, oh wow, let me stop, put the break?
Yeah,
the
listen,
brakes on.
so
Okay.
what
Damn,
ended up
13
happening
years.
was I had a job that I was traveling nearly 100%. Like I was traveling all the time. I was with clients all the time. And I was in a really, really like horrible situation that legally I can't even give you that as detailed. It's that terrible.
That's why we got that high stuff.
And it all came to an end and it came to a head on the day before my birthday. So I flew from Atlanta to Denver to spend my birthday with my best friend who lives in Denver. And I get a call from HR, and my boss's boss put a meeting on my calendar, the very last meeting of the day. It's like 4:30 appointment. Like, the hell is this for? And anybody knows when you get a call from HR at the end of the day, go ahead and start emailing you everything you need to email to your personal email. Go ahead and make sure you got copies of all your stuff. Make sure that you have everything that you need to, because your email is about to stop working.
Dang.
So I got that call and I was like, are you f***ing kidding me right now?
Yeah.
Like, my birthday is literally tomorrow. And they're like,
You gone.
looks like you're going to have some extra time on your birthday.
Wow.
And I was just like dumbfounded. And like my world just like, stopped for like, I gave myself like 6 hours to like completely just lose it, because the way that I viewed the world, the way that I was making money, the way that like I had identified myself. So my identity was tied to my work and it being great at everything. And so all of that, I just like watched my world crumble in front of me. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna give myself a year. And this is March 12th of 2019. I said, I'm going to give myself a year to just say yes to everything, to travel, to just do whatever. I don't know. I don't have a plan anymore. So the plan is going to be don't have a plan and just like life. And so I did that for a year. And like for the first probably like 60 days, it was the most unnerving, unsettling. Like, again, my dad is an immigrant. So if I'm not a doctor or a lawyer, he's like, you're squandering your life.
Yeah.
You ain't got no job.
Right.
What you
Like,
mean?
you kidding me?
You gonna have
Son,
7
you're
of
a
'em.
bum.
Yeah.
I didn't raise a bum.
Yeah. Tight. That's that bum shit. There we go.
Like, I didn't raise no bum.
Yeah.
The hell? What did I sacrifice for? I didn't came to this country and did all of this stuff for you to go do what? Nothing. What? So, battling with that. And then like, you can't be uncomfortable when the whole world is telling you should be comfortable and you're uncomfortable. Does that make sense? So like, I felt like I was just out of sync for the first probably 6 months. And that was part of me realizing like so much of my identity was tied to things that didn't matter. So much of my time was being spent on things that were like fruitless. And my priorities are out of whack. And the friends that I thought were friends, when I'm like going through the toughest time of my life, are like, which way you been? Like, don't come when your shit's falling apart. You hadn't been here when it was together. Like, and I can't even be mad for people being like, oh, now you got time in your back, right? So it just required me to just show up differently and to take ownership of the fact that I hadn't been a person I was super duper proud of in all aspects of my life. Like in some aspects I was winning, in some
I feel
aspects
it.
I was like super losing.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that mattered the most, right? The older you
Literally.
get it.
Literally. Yeah.
So
Life problems versus.
Yeah, survival time.
So-
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, a year. So y'all might remember on March 12th of 2020, they announced the pandemic.
It's your birthday.
March 13th
Nice.
was the next day. It was Friday the 13th. So
wow.
2020.
Year anniversary a day after the year
God
anniversary.
gave you some
of-
bonus time off.
Yo.
So I
Yo,
was
that's
like,
crazy.
okay, there's a lesson here. There's a lesson. I intentionally said I was going to give myself a year, and on that year anniversary, I got some bonus time. So either I've got more work to do, or I haven't been doing something quite right, or I need to go back and kind of figure this thing on out. So I got that bonus time to really like sit down and kind of rethink and reshuffle the deck again, and to just kind of examine what I thought to be true. Because I think that a lot of times as an adult, you don't audit your life until something catastrophic happens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? You think everything's
Yeah.
good. You don't really go back and look at things from a different perspective until you have to. I read somewhere that most adults won't change unless there's something like life-threatening or life-altering that happens.
So Dispenza says that trauma, disease, trauma, and things like that to be a catalyst for change in
That's
your
right.
life.
You don't need it.
You don't need
You know
it.
what I'm saying?
He says you don't need
Yeah,
it.
preachers to
But
do
a lot
that
of people
before.
do
Yeah.
need it for that
Absolutely.
to happen.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Oh.
And so I kind of sat back and, just re-inventoried the things that I thought were true and re-examined some of those truths that I held, and thought that I was working on a different or better version. And then I went back and kind of looked at that and realized I still had some work to do. And just kind of since then, I've been a lot more open to what comes to me. Like I was a big force things to happen instead of going with the flow. Like I think there's a lot of value in being tenacious. I think there's a lot of value in knowing what you want and going after it. But I think that there's also a lot of value in allowing things to flow and allowing the things that are supposed to come to you and making the space for those things to appear
100%.
and being open to however they may appear.
Right.
And so that was something that I had to really like I still work on, right? Because I want what I want, but being open to the fact that I know the components of the things that I want, but it may not show
Appear-
that
exactly.
definitely in that way.
Get it. No.
Might come in a different vehicle. It might come with a different color. It might come completely, but it still has the components of what I needed.
Yeah.
And being aware of, okay, I know I asked for these components.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. And being grateful was a big thing that I never really thought a lot about until everything was gone. Was like how grateful I am for the things that used to be here that aren't here anymore. And so then you start being really grateful. Like, man, I'm grateful my legs work. Man, I'm grateful that I breathe without, any challenge. I'm grateful. Like they're just starting to be really grateful for the little things and constantly reminding myself that this all could be gone. It could all be different. And I've seen that happen. Part of that change was I asked God one day, I was like, I feel like this is not how my life is supposed to look. I don't know exactly how my life is supposed to look. So help me. Don't pray that prayer. Do not pray that. Like,
If you're not ready,
ask for gentle direction.
yeah, be
Right?
specific. Yeah, no
Be
doubt.
very specific about the things that you ask for, because
Seriously.
I asked for that, and the person that I've been dating for 3 years, we broke up. The cat that I had for 10 years died. Like the job that I had and went away. Like
Sound
my
like
whole
my
life
life.
fell apart. So I learned, like, if you will ask God for things, ask for them gently. Ask for things to be revealed in a way that you can handle as your present self,
Yeah,
right?
real
Like,
talk.
and the strength to become the person that you need to become.
Yeah.
Don't generalize. Yeah,
Man, be as specific as
as you can, because it matters. And the beauty of that specificity is that means you know. You know what I'm saying? In your ask, it ain't. We was just talking about this, like when you ask God for patience. You know what I'm saying? Like asking the universe, I want to increase my patience. And what that you're not even thinking about what that looks like. You see your future self as, oh, patient is in like,
right.
but you don't see what gotta be
Yeah.
did, what has to be done for you to get on the other side of it to be that
You
Zen
feel like
person.
patience is going to get dropped off in an Amazon box at the
Yeah,
doorstep. And we're
right,
like,
right.
It don't work like that.
patience,
Right.
Nah, you got some assembly to
You
goddamn
are
go through.
about to be tried and tested in
Jeez.
all of the ways that will
Jeez.
require you to develop patience. So you're going to
Exactly.
fail that test so many times
So many
over.
times. So many times.
And like you're going to be aware that you're failing the test.
Exactly.
Like, which
And
is-
but that's the thing too. Like the dichotomy of the awareness. And I like that you said awareness. And I wanted to ask you like where you get that awareness from. But before we go to that, just the knowing that I'm in the test right now. Because we can ask, just like me, you said you hungry. But if that pain, if you sit for a second and that hunger subsides, you ain't gonna think about what you asked for. You know what I'm saying? Like that it went away. So that space of time between me asking and then that thing coming, that's a test.
That's right.
And you're not aware, and it hits you and you fail. You like
Dang, I forgot to ask for this test.
a lot
I
of
just failed the shit out this thing.
and your whole mentality goes the opposite way. You get negative, like, why is always happening to me? Why this, blah, 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 blah. But you just ask for more of this. You ask for, you want more wealth? You know what that's going to look like. You want more of this? It's going to take some configuring that the Bible say, his thoughts are not our thoughts.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So if it's like, I got a plan, but that plan is a whole different, I don't know how the universe is going to manifest that for me. I know I asked for it. I know I'm like you said, and that's a beautiful thing that you said is I know the components of what I'm looking for. You know what I'm saying? So I don't need a brand name on it. As long as it got X, Y, and Z on there, I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? That's a beautiful thing. That's dope. So all of that, that's from birth to now, what you just gave us.
Yeah.
Yikes. That's
I
a
mean,
lot.
but that's life. I think that part of the thing. Oh, that's wait, plug, right? I think that part of my personal growth is in being grateful for every opportunity, being grateful for every friend, being grateful for every lesson. Because I mean, if you want to think about things happening to you, you can absolutely think of all of the things that happen to you, right? Traffic happened to you, all of that. But then you can also think about things happening for you, right? And so, that traffic might have prevented you from getting somewhere too quickly and arriving unprepared. That traffic might have saved you. You never know.
Exactly.
Right. So there are the things that you can change and the things that you can be, have influence on. And then there's everything else. And I didn't do well playing in the everything else space. Like I did really well with the things that I could control, but all of that other stuff, like I've been accused in previous lifetimes of being a control freak. And it's like, yeah, because if I leave this stuff to chance, it could turn out any kind of way.
I got a question. Were you always as pleasant as you? Because like,
No.
okay. Because as I think, because I'm currently, and I don't know if the pandemic was a reset for everybody if they wanted to take advantage of it. It was. So when you in hearing your your life, you telling us your life. I just think about mine as well, and like all the things that I had happen, and just I've always been a nice guy. Like people like to laugh, but just the awareness and being confronted with certain things, and me having to do that introspection work is like, dang, I ain't as pleasant as I might see myself to be. You know what I'm saying? And we recently been watching like podcasts, and people been talking about programming. You know what I mean? A lot of the programming that happens in our primary years that we not even really conscious of, but we just play it out in our lives. And just I was just asking about your pleasant, like, how did this pleasant nature come about? Because I don't know if it was. I just want to know if it was there before.
There's, I think, a difference though between being nice, being kind, and being pleasant.
No, it definitely is.
So
That's a topic on something.
that's something that, like, in my business life, I'm nice.
Yeah,
But it may not be pleasant.
Not at all.
Right? Like, I'm telling you something that's hard, that's unpleasant to hear, but I didn't say it in a mean way, right? My delivery wasn't off, but you just heard something that you didn't want to hear.
Right.
So I think that there's also a kindness, like, when you love, like genuinely love people, like when you genuinely see or recognize that there is God in every one of us, whether or not you agree with them, whether or not, that's somebody that you would prefer to be around or hang around. If you understand that there is God in everyone, then you have an ability to be kind. You have an ability to see them for being a person and recognizing their programming is different, their situation is different. And so it allows you to kind of handle people differently. And so when I went through just the transition of my whole life falling apart, I found a whole new level of grace that I didn't have before, because I was used to everything working out. I was used to everything being exactly as it was supposed to be, how I wanted it to be. Everything's perfect on the outside. Everything's perfect on the inside. Of course you're nice to me. Everything's perfect.
Right.
But like when you're going through something and you're having to fight every day to present something great on the outside and it's falling apart on the inside, it gives you a level of awareness that other people are experiencing this every single day. Like everybody is going through something right now, and some people are holding on by a thread right now. And you handle people differently. That level of kindness that you're able to extend to others because you've been in a tough place or in a bad place or in a dark place, in a place that you didn't want to talk about, that you didn't want to acknowledge, that you didn't want anybody else to even be aware of. When you recognize that somebody could be going through that, and I think that if you look, you can see it. Right? And if you feel, you can feel it.
Yep.
And when you recognize it's there, I think that you just handle people differently. And that was something that I really I learned in spades. It was something that, I asked for and I was tested on. A lot of the lessons that I have become aware of, if you would have asked me in the time that I was learning them, I would have told you I'm in a storm. Right? I had no idea what's happening. Like, I can't see the forest through the trees. But then when you get on the other side of it, you're like,
Right.
I see how I'm different now. I see what I've learned. I see how I maneuver differently. I wouldn't have been able to tell you that 6 months ago.
Yes.
But being on the other side of it, you're like, oh, okay.
Now, in my transition, because it sounds similar to yours, just I'm very zen right now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so my level of tolerance for stuff is immensely diminished. And the time that I don't waste time anymore, or not as much.
Yeah.
And I don't waste any breath either. Like this loquacious conversation we having right now, we do this off camera. So this is the cameras weren't rolling. We still do this. You know what I'm saying? And so, in your journey of this is like your second life now. How
6, 7.
word. So this chapter have a lot of people fall to the wayside, and have you has it become smaller?
Absolutely.
Word.
You can't take everybody with you. Right? And everybody isn't meant to make it to the end of the book. Different people had different chapters and then they split off. They got what they were supposed to learn from you, or you experienced some sort of shared experience and they go their own way and you go yours and you have a great memory as a result of it. The dinner that we all met at, there are people that I haven't talked to since then. Right? And so maybe their purpose was to bring us together and then, they drop off and then we, continue on a different path. So I think one of the hardest lessons for me, because I moved around a lot as a kid. I went to 8 different schools before I graduated high school. So I always reinvented myself. Every high school I went to, I was like, I've never done track. Let's do track this time. I've never done, show choir. Let's do show choir. Let's be in a play.
You're a new person at each
Every
school.
single school, I tried some different stuff.
That's funny.
So that's why, but I don't have that sense of permanence for things, which is a gift and a curse. I recognize all this shit can be different next week.
That shows up in every area of your life?
Every area.
Romantically
It's
too?
it's kind of a problem.
For real?
It's kind of a problem.
Yeah, bro, you gotta go.
I thought it was working, it wasn't. It's been fun. See you later. Yep. I've been accused of cutting ties too quickly, and I was like, it felt too quickly for you. It didn't feel too quickly for me.
Oh, what?
On to the next, right?
You a very type A personality, North personality.
Super.
I got you.
But the takeaway for me though is that you can change everything about your situation if you choose to.
Every time.
Everything can be different. And each time that I reinvent myself, everybody may not be with that new person. Everybody, like, when I went on my whole, like, healthy journey, weight loss, like, I want to get healthy, it's super easy to find people to go brunch with. It's so easy to go find people to go have dinner with. But the people you're going to sign up for a 5K with, the people who want to get up in the morning and go for a jog,
You go
not
hard,
the same. Yeah.
Is that so? If you can explain to the people what you did, firstly, but like, what was that a part of this journey you talking about now? Doing that?
All a part of the journey.
All right.
It's all like different chapters. So that particular part of the journey was like in 2017, 2018. So that was before the whole world fell apart. My whole world fell apart.
Okay.
I had to change internally. And so if I did a timeline, right, I woke up in my closet. I was supposed to go to an event with one of my friends. And I woke up and just like was in my closet and had a complete like nervous breakdown because I was like, when did I look like this? When did I start looking like this? Like everything I put on, I'm fat. Like I can't put on enough pairs of Spanx to make this shit look good. Like I just feel like I'm a like smushed up Oompa Loompa in this, like this shit just looks a mess.
Okay.
And I like looked in the mirror and didn't recognize that person. And so other people were like, oh, you look fine. I was like, but not as fine as I should be looking. Like, who is this?
Yeah.
And why y'all didn't say something? Like, I know y'all saw me putting all this weight on, and nobody thought to be like, B,
What
you want to slow down?
What is somebody supposed to say though?
Bitch, you eating fat. Like, what you eat? I don't know. Find the word.
How do you, but I'm saying like how if we could pause that for a second. What is the proper way to do that for somebody though?
I think it just depends. I definitely have my friends where I'm like, you're not skipping no meals, huh?
Yeah, no doubt.
Like
Because that I don't want to call it advice, but that personal struggle. Like my mom was a substance abuse nurse. My dad was an alcoholic. I've seen a lot of drug abuse from just living in Chicago. So I know my humanity has increased for people who have suffered from like those extreme types of substance abuse things, right? Flip. Now in the world of entertainment, now we got things like 600-pound life.
Yeah.
And people like that's entertainment. Like
Yeah.
those people who are that weight elect to go on their show because it's compensation, exposure, whatever they want or get. But like that enabling is such a fine line, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause those crack, fat, those things look the same as far as addiction and telling like, okay, I want you to get off crack. I want you to not be fat, but like, how do you approach?
That's the I can want it for you, but you got to want it for yourself.
Word.
And so, you know, I say in jest and I laugh about it, but like my close friends,
They
like
can say something.
you recognize what that is an actual sign of. Like
Right.
I eat my feelings. If I'm going through a lot, like it's easy to find a quick fix and let's go get something to eat. Let's go, let's go drink our problems away. I've had a long day. I don't feel like talking about it. I don't feel like thinking about it. Let's hit up happy hour. Like you see the coping mechanisms and then the weight just becomes the result of coping mechanisms, right? So, so with my like close friend circle, I know exactly what each one of my friends' vices are. And I know when they start doing in excess, like I need to ask different questions. And that just comes from having been that person, right? Having had all of the vices that I was using to mask the underlying problem. Now I understand and can see when other people are masking.
Right.
But I also recognize that like there are times where I might see it as a problem or I might be like, you good? And they're like, yeah. I'm good. I just, I'm working through it.
Okay.
And you have to be gentle when everybody doesn't want to fix their problem, right? My 600-pound life, they may not be trying to lose no weight. They may love exactly where they sitting at and are completely comfortable with whatever comes as a result of it.
And a lot of times, a lot of people ain't comfortable with where they at. It's just, it's easier to get the dopamine shot to be like, I want to escape. The escapism. I don't want to be here right now. So what's going to take me away from that? Eating all this food, getting the ice, and going to sleep.
Yeah.
This hit or whatever, or drink this, or sex addicts or gambling addicts. Like it's so many things in the world that make people run away from what is the core thing that's really going on. And like she said, she was chasing success for 30 years until she was like, nah, it ain't fulfilling me like I needed to fulfill me. And then she had the awareness to be like, that's what it is. And that's the struggle y'all be going through, like that awareness. Cause I didn't have it. Like Bruce Lipton said, he says, this is the guy we see on this podcast, he's an epigeneticist. And he was like, we all are TVs. You know what I'm saying? We all got this programming. And just like a TV, you never see your programming, and your programming comes from something else. You know what I'm saying? It's a transmission. And it's been implanted into you. And a lot of times when like you said, we seeing the results of the coping, like the people see the programming, but you don't. So it's like you acting just like your pops or your moms. And it's like,
No, I'm not.
you know what I'm saying? Like that's
Why would you say that?
exactly. You be so offended, but it's like you can't see the subconscious programming that you doing, and so it's just it's dope to hear how blessed and grateful like a person like the life that you had, even with all of the maybe trials and tribulations. It's like God still gave you enough awareness to be like, man, this ain't it. Like J. Cole was. Yeah.
Like they're
Blessed, favored.
I could never crave for the life that I have. And from everything, all of the highs, all of the lows, like I wouldn't trade my life for anyone's. Like I'm so grateful for my parents. We do not always see eye to eye, but every Sunday I go to my parents' house for family dinner, like just spend that time with them. Like for me, sitting on the couch on a random Tuesday with my friends, with cameras going, people having and wanting the time to spend, like this isn't a life I could have prayed for. I wouldn't have known to ask for this. And there's a lot of people who don't have the space and time and mental wherewithal to be able to do what we're doing right now. So like it's just that it's gratitude, right? And it's recognizing that this is extreme favor and just trying to be a good steward of the blessings that I've been given and trying to pour back into and overflow onto people who, will appreciate it and to be accepting of any overflow that I receive from them as well. So I think that just keeping things in perspective is so important, and keeping yourself surrounded by people who can help you do that. People who recognize your good days, your bad days, when you're getting a little fluffy, when you're starting to, have those coping mechanisms, right? The people who remind you of that goal. Like I have a girlfriend who was like, that's not what you said you wanted. I'm like, first of all.
Right. Why you bringing up the old stuff?
Didn't nobody ask.
Exactly.
Don't remember asking for that, but thank you.
Yeah.
And,
That's
I had a
love.
friend that was going through a really rough time, and she was so upset with me, and I was like, listen, I'm the friend that you need, not the friend that you want right now. Like, in order for me to be if I'm truly your friend, I've got to be the person that looks out for you even when you're not looking out for you. And sometimes, things get a little foggy, things get a little hazy, and like you're just trying to survive. You're just trying to make it to midnight. You're just trying to make it to the morning. So you're not going to do everything the right way or the way that you, if you were in your right mind, would do it.
Right.
So like as a friend, it's my job to look out and make sure that those things happen. Like I'm going to let you do you. But in the background, we're going to be moving some things around to make sure that everything stays on the up and up. Because that's my job as a friend. And I think that, to your question earlier, do people fall off? And it's like, yeah, the people who are not capable of where I'm going and to be able to handle me as I am right now, they have to fall off.
Right.
Like, they're going to tell you I'm too much, I want too much, I'm doing too much. And all of that's true. They're not wrong. The version of me that they remember and that they like wasn't the version that I am now. And so I have to respect that they were a great friend and a great person to me when I needed them. It's just not that. It's not the case anymore. And I have to also hold myself responsible for showing up as a great friend to the people who are still in my life. It becomes really easy to have a singular focus on self, that in order to be a good friend, a good partner, a good all the things, you also have to recognize that you have a responsibility to the people around you as well.
You got a ton of humanity, man. I love it. I love to hear you talk. I know I've been kind of hogging her time or whatever. You got some stuff you want to ask her?
No, I'm vibing, man.
Yeah, you sure?
Heck yeah.
I mean, the people ain't heard you, you know what I'm saying?
What's going on, people? I'm here.
Yeah, has he said anything? I've been asking all the questions, so you got a hold.
Hey man, it's going without me. I'm glad to be here on the couch with my friends, enjoying it a random Tuesday.
That's right.
You know what
You're
I'm saying?
a little good.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I really don't. Everything I had to ask really kind of it came out. You know what I mean? So I don't have no specifics.
I appreciate the space though. Like
Yeah,
for
heck
y'all
yeah.
to be able
I do got. I'm sorry. I do have some. You said This man's funny.
Ignore him. Ask your question.
It's really like a work-life balance thing, right? Because you're like people might hit you like, hey, I have a pass pretty much because I'm always busy. Da, 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 da. That can be a gift and a curse, right? Because even for me, I can speak on that. Like my mom or when I answer the phone, they're surprised. They're like, "Oh, I thought you was busy." Or I would have. We went here and I thought you was busy. I always get, "Oh, I thought you were busy," or da da da. Like that's detrimental to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what I value now as opposed to what actually got me here. You know what I'm saying? Like, cool, I had to be this person to get me here, but now that I'm here, they still associate me being this busy individual that's not going to answer the phone, that's not going to text back, that's not going to, and
You got to retrade him.
yeah,
That's what I was thinking.
got to retrain them, and I got to retrain myself too. So.
Right.
But yeah, that's speak on that though.
Yeah. So at least the hardest part of any transition is explaining the transition to the people around you. And you know, in the Bible, and I'm not quoting it, but it basically says like you can't get famous in your hometown is what it boils down to, right? And it's because the people who know you and have always known you have a very specific version of you that they know. And so it's hard for them to see you any differently than that person. Versus the people that will meet you, you get to tell them and show them this version of you and who you are, not who you've been, but who you are right now, and they accept you as that. And I find that, especially, like I said, my very Jamaican father, who I'm grateful for, because when I tell you there's no half stepping, like there is no such thing as being a bum.
He
Like,
helped create this, yeah.
right.
No doubt.
That level of accountability exists whether I want it there or not. But what I am constantly having to explain to my parents is like, this is how I function now. These are the things that I do. This is how I think. This is what I stand for. This is what I will tolerate. And here's all the things that I won't. And let's be very clear. That line's not moving. So like these boundaries are really hard for some of the people who have been in my life for a long time because they're used to me being different. To your point, like they're used to you being busy, but I tell my friends, invite me anyway. Invite me anyway.
Give me the right of refusal, bro. Like,
Invite me anyway.
But you gotta tell them though.
let me tell you, I'm busy. Like,
Yeah.
don't
Or
consider
I
me-
might be busy and things might change. Like I live a life where things are fluid. Like I live a life where I was going to be busy and then I wasn't. Right? Like this day opened up. Now, because I know it's happening, might slide through and surprise us all.
That's how we got you here now. You feel me?
Right.
Right.
But that's where like continuing to remind them, because they've known a different version of you for X amount of years. So that's X amount of years of programming in that old version of you, and the new version of you might have only been around for a year or two. And so they're like, we waiting for the old version to come back. That's the one we're expecting. And I think that is a constant like give and take, right? But you also have to start showing up to stuff too. And that was a big problem when I first was like, no guys, I'm not busy anymore. And they're like, but you still gotta show up. So
What are we doing?
what's up? So why are we gonna
That's
still
my
invite
life
you?
right now,
It's
bro.
like I had to get over having that crutch of being like, well, I don't really have to go because they're expecting me not to go anyway, and I'm busy, and I kind of didn't want to go in the first place. It's like, yeah, now you still gotta show up.
You gotta fight
You
it.
still gotta.
Because that's the program you get. You gotta reprogram yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be uncomfortable.
That's right.
It's gonna be some sacrifice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, where are you trying to go? That's the, remember your hypothetical the other day, the last episode? And you was like, you want a stress-free life, but you never grow? Or do you want to struggle? I'm gonna pick the struggle.
Yeah. Well, and there's escape velocity, right? There's that extra push and power that you need to go from where you're at to where you're trying to get to.
Yeah.
Right? And there's that, like, it's going to be hardest at that point because you're having to overcome the programming, you're having to overcome the old routines, the old habits. So now you're fighting yourself to be a different version, and that takes energy too. So you have to recognize that the change is going to take so much more energy and resources than you really intend or recognize.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's part of it.
No doubt. And the teachers say the first thing you need to do is change this. Because the effort that is done without this being in the right place is for naught. You know what I'm saying? Like the days when it's raining and you like, yeah, I'm about to get on this new fitness joint. If your mind ain't there, F that rain.
Right.
I do it tomorrow. And tomorrow becomes tomorrow. And that tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, this is the hardest thing to change. But if you get this locked down, it becomes so easy. It becomes easier.
It's like the same brain that is comfortable making excuses, right? Because that's a default programming, is the excuse making. The opposite side of that is the person that doesn't make excuses.
Right.
So, like, which one do you want to be? Like, you'll find a way or you'll find an excuse, always. So if your brain is locked in, you're going to find 10 ways to make it happen. If you're not, you're going to find 10 ways to make it not happen.
Every time.
Every time.
They said that you told us that with the that's your little make a set of goals, set 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But it's going in our brain and all of this, it adjusts to whatever you set out.
That's right.
So if you put it in there, and that's what you used to do that in college. I used to do that in college. Oh, you gave me 9 weeks to do this assignment?
It's going to take 9 weeks. And I'm going to cram it down until the night before. And magically, this thing
You
would have
feel
taken
me?
9 weeks. I got done.
Yeah.
One day, you know what I'm saying? That type of time. So it's like understanding the power of this and aligning the power of this with the power of this.
And believing that you can. Like, I think that's the number one thing that a lot of people struggle with is like, you don't even believe it. Like, I hear you saying it, I hear you talking, but you don't believe it.
It's 5%.
Just believe.
I think it's 5% of people that believe out here.
Yeah. And like the audacity.
There's a lot of audacious people out here.
The audacity. I mean, we can look at our current administration. The one thing I'll say about that dude is that 100% he believed all of the nonsense. And as a result, the actions are the actions are aligning with it, right? And it's because somebody believes. Like, and here's the thing about believing, it doesn't have to be practical. It doesn't have to make sense to anybody else. There doesn't have to be anyone else who is aligned with it. But if it works for you,
If it works, bro. My boy Nero just said, man, it's a placebo. Like, life's a placebo. Like, everything we do is like, if it's a belief and you believe it, it's coming for you pretty much. It's going to come true. It's going to...
and think about how many dumb things you believed in and rocked hard with it. Right?
Super.
And went back and was like, what the hell?
Real talk.
Like, I really believed in some nonsense. I really, like, all of that effort and energy was misplaced. But man, did I believe. But man, was I all in on it.
That's a fact.
So, like, imagine having that same, like, mindset that the things that you want out of your life. And I think the older you get, the more it's easy to remember, the more that life reminds you that there's repercussions, consequences and repercussions, right? That, you know, there's more things to lose. There's a lot more at risk. Like, I remember just some of the crazy stuff that I did when I was young, like in college.
Life
Like,
taking.
what? Like, youth really is wasted on the young, because some of the stupid stuff I had no business doing but was all in on, and the adventures that you couldn't have talked me out of, like, that's a whole different mindset than I have 15 years, 20 years later when I'm like, wait a minute.
Right.
Hold on now. We might need to give this a second thought.
Thank God for growth. Thank you for all that. I don't know if we had a heavy conversation for the last 30 minutes.
We could do one. I got one question. One little it's a funny one. We're gonna
Light it up.
yeah. So bam. We got 1,000 grapes.
What kind of grapes?
What's your favorite?
Seedless.
Seedless.
Concord, white.
No, the seedless gumdrop grapes. The purple ones that are super sweet.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
All right, seedless gumdrops.
So, let's say 1,000 seedless gumdrop grapes, right?
Can they be frozen?
They're frozen as well.
Like candy.
One of those out of 1,000 is poisonous,
How poisonous? Like you dropping dead?
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
You can get.
I thought this was supposed to be funny and light. It just went left real fast.
You get 2,500 for eating one grape. How many grapes are you gonna eat?
It says about.
But when you get that one, it's game over. What happens to the money that I've accumulated?
You get it tax free.
Like my
Cash.
family gets it? Because if I
She
use
says,
it,
Oh, if you accumulate
no, if you die, you don't get nothing.
nothing.
oh, I'm not eating over.
You can eat however many you want.
No, I'm good.
However many you want. You can
I'm good.
have 3 of them.
I'm super good. Super good. Passing on the grapes.
Yep. I said the same thing.
All right, your family can keep the money.
Life problem versus survival problem. She thinking. Nah, we good. You got other
I'm
money.
for passing the grapes.
Yeah. Come on,
Still
thank you,
passing on the
Brittany.
grapes. I'm so because like the real question is how badly do you need the money, right? And in this instance, I think about my money making potential is much stronger than my will to need a get rich quick scheme.
Eating
Like,
poisonous
where's the
grapes.
risk?
Come
Yeah.
on, bro. Nah.
And then like my mom gets a check for like $20,000 and like so
Was it worth
pretty
it?
parting gift.
Was it worth it?
She was going for it, man. She was doing good for a minute.
That's hilarious.
Like my mom cussing everybody out. Everybody's catching hands.
Your mama just make it too?
No,
Where's she from?
she just black.
That's what's up. Happy Black History Month, everybody.
She just black.
Shout out to Black History.
Word up, man. Well, thank you for being on the show.
Thank y'all for having me.
Yeah, man.
I
it's a
think y'all
pleasure.
need to end on something much more fun than that.
Oh, really? All
Like
right.
what?
I don't have any. All right, let me see. So, I just got the same questions. Like,
If you could give the people a piece of advice to leave with, what would that be?
Let's do it.
I don't know.
Mine and
This,
mine.
I don't know.
oh, man, producers, help us out.
Did you watch the Super Bowl?
I did watch the Super Bowl.
Damn, you watched TV. I don't know.
I did watch the Super Bowl though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So one last piece of advice.
Yeah. Make it light and happy.
Oh, shit.
Huh?
Don't be scared to go for the life you want. Like, either you're gonna have it or you're not. It's kind of that simple. Like, either your life is gonna look the way that you want it to, or it's gonna be at somebody else's discretion. It's gonna be at somebody else's will. Or you're gonna leave things to chance.
Drive your car.
Yeah. Probably like the wheel until the wheels fall off.
But that's life.
But that's life, man. That's the episode 5. So we do a little, you know what I'm saying? We gonna pose for the, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna look at this camera right here. You gonna pose, and we gonna take out. You feel me? Peace out, y'all. We out here.
Bye, all.
Yeah.
Hello.
My life ain't your life, and your life ain't my life, but that's life. Your life ain't my life, and my life ain't your life, but that's life. My life ain't your life, and your life ain't my life, but that's life. Your life ain't my life, and my life ain't your life, but that's life.